Hey, Young and the Restless fans! Genoa City is heating up again, and this time it's Nick Newman who's at the center of the storm. Victor's son is in more pain than ever, both physically and emotionally, and it looks like he's teetering on the edge of a dangerous path. With his broken leg, his rage toward Matt Clark, and his growing dependence on painkillers, Nick is spiraling fast. And here's the kicker. Jack Abbott may be the only one who can pull him back from disaster. Imagine Victor's fury if Jack ends up saving his son. Let's dive into this explosive storyline. Nick's pain and rage boil over. Nick should still be in the hospital recovering from surgery, but instead he's storming around Genoa City, popping painkillers like candy, and plotting revenge against Matt Clark. His anger is off the charts, more volatile than usual, and his family is starting to notice. Noah even asked if it was Nick talking or the drugs talking, which only made Nick lash out harder. Moments later, Nick swung back to apologizing, begging Noah to call his doctor for more meds. But here's the problem. Nick's not going to get endless refills, especially after leaving the hospital against medical advice. That means he's likely to turn to darker sources for relief. The fentanyl temptation. This week, Nick finds himself staring at a baggie of fentanyl pills Matt gave him. They've been sitting in his pocket, waiting for the moment when his pain and desperation collide. And let's be real, this is exactly the kind of setup soaps love. Even if Nick doesn't take the pills right away, the temptation is there. When the pain gets unbearable, when the withdrawals kick in, that fentanyl could look like salvation. And fans know how dangerous that path is. Y&R has been dropping hints about Matt's fentanyl dealing for months, so it's no surprise it's finally coming into play. Addiction runs in the family. Nick's mom, Nikki Newman, has battled addiction for decades, from alcohol struggles to rehab stints. Her journey has been a roller coaster, and now it looks like Nick may have inherited that same addictive streak. Combine that genetic predisposition with his injury and easy access to pain meds, and you've got a recipe for disaster. Nick's snapping at Sharon, Noah, and even Sienna shows just how unstable he is. He's not thinking clearly, he's lashing out at the people he loves, and he's plotting murder while ignoring his health. It's classic soap setup for a full-blown addiction storyline. The perfect storm of distraction. What makes this even more dangerous is that Nick's family is distracted. Victor and Nikki are focused on Kane and Phyllis attacking Newman Enterprises. Sharon is juggling crises with Noah, Mariah, and Sienna. Everyone's attention is elsewhere, which means Nick's downward spiral could go unnoticed until it's too late. That's how addiction often works. It hides in plain sight until the damage is undeniable. And with Nick keeping his struggles secret, he could be in deep trouble before anyone realizes how bad it is. Enter Jack Abbott. Here's where things get really interesting. The one person who might be able to save Nick is none other than Jack Abbott. Why Jack? Because he's been there. Jack knows the pain of prescription pill addiction firsthand. He fought his way back from it, and he understands the darkness Nick is facing. He also helped Nikki when she was spiraling. Remember when he staged that shocking intervention, mixing pills with booze to scare her straight? It worked. She went to rehab and got back on track. Jack's tough love saved her, even if Victor hated him for it. Now, history could repeat itself. Nikki may turn to Jack again, asking him to help her son. And if Jack succeeds, Victor will explode. Instead of gratitude, Victor will likely accuse Jack of meddling, just like he did before. Victor's rage and family fallout. Victor's addiction has always been to power, not substances. He doesn't understand the struggle the way Jack and Nikki do. If Jack steps in to save Nick, Victor will see it as interference, not salvation. And that sets the stage for another round of Newman versus Abbott fireworks. This week, spoilers tease Victor walking in on Nikki and Jack's arms. Of course he'll lose it, but what if Jack was simply comforting her about Nick's crisis? That moment could ignite another feud, even as the families are forced to work together against Kane's AI attacks. The Abbott-Newman connection. Let's not forget the deep ties between these families. Summer married into the Abbott clan. Nick's grandson, Harrison, is part of the Abbott family. Their lives are intertwined whether Victor likes it or not. If Nick spirals into addiction, it makes sense that the Abbotts and Newmans would have to join forces to save him. And if Jack is the one to pull Nick back from the brink, it could reshape the family dynamics in Genoa City. But knowing Victor, it will also fuel his hatred for Jack even more. Final thoughts. Nick Newman is standing at a dangerous crossroads. His pain, his rage, and his genetic predisposition to addiction are pushing him towards a fentanyl nightmare. His family is distracted, his health is deteriorating, and his temper is out of control. The question isn't just whether Nick will fall into addiction, it's who will save him if he does. And all signs point to Jack Abbott being the unlikely hero. But saving Nick could cost a steep price, reigniting Victor's fury and deepening the Newman-Abbott rivalry. So buckle up, Yen and the Restless fans. This storyline has all the makings of a long, emotional ride. Pain, addiction, family drama, and explosive confrontations. And if Jack steps in, you can bet Victor Newman will not take it lightly.